How much do Instacart shoppers make in 2020? What's up, guys? Brandon here from Gridwise, here to answer a really interesting question in terms of how much drivers actually make. And I think we're going to be able to provide some kind of ground truth data that really you're not going to get from anywhere on the internet. You're probably going to hear a lot of anecdotal evidence from other videos and things like that, maybe some surveys. People are going to tell you, hey, this is, exactly how the earnings break down. You can find that in other videos. What we're going to do today is tell you, hey, from a median standpoint, how much are drivers making right now? Like last week, how much were drivers making? What type of numbers were they putting up? Before I get into that, if you like Gridwise, if you like our videos, if you like me, if you like Junda, anything about us, Gridwise J, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Would mean a ton to us. But let's just dive right into the data here. Let me make sure I have it pulled up. Really interesting to look at this data when you compare it to what rideshare drivers have been making, right? Because you saw with rideshare drivers, earnings decreased pretty significantly sometime in March, right? And we're using, just to clarification, Gridwise has over 100,000 drivers that feed in anonymized earnings data into Gridwise, and then we use that to do a bit of data analysis around this anonymized data to come up with different stats like median earnings per hour, median earnings per mile, things like that across all services and also services intersecting, right? So that's where we kind of get a lot of this interesting data. And then we can see that rideshare drivers definitely saw a huge decline in earnings around mid-March, and gradually earnings have started to increase. And right now they're actually higher than what they were pre-COVID. And again, we know this is because 71% of drivers got off the road. Most of the drivers still aren't back on the road, while demand has continued to tick up, right? So companies certainly have a challenge there in terms of getting drivers back on the road. I don't think they're going to do that right now, be able to do that that effectively, because COVID's real. But when we talk about how much Instacart drivers are making, pretty nice here. When you look at the graph, you see certainly earnings fluctuate from a week to week standpoint. But right now, over the past month, you've been seeing drivers making about $19 an hour, with drivers making $21 an hour from a median standpoint across the nation last week. So I think going forward, you might not see that continue to tick up like that beyond 21. But I do expect you to see earnings be around that $20 an hour range going forward this year. Because when you think about what's going to happen this year, delivery's not going anywhere. Guys, this COVID situation that we're in is not disappearing, next month or anything like that. People are still going to be ordering things in. And what you're going to see in certainly in Q3, all these companies, the DoorDashes, the Uber Eats of the world, they're actually, or not Uber, but Uber Eats, or not Uber Eats, but Uber, they're getting into grocery. Right, so they're going to start to advertise this stuff more. Instacart's going to advertise more. DoorDash, again, they're getting in the grocery, going to advertise more. Ship, they're going to advertise more. They're going to actually drive a lot more demand, and you're going to really see it explode in Q4. Like, there's going to be a lot of demand across all of food delivery in Q4. So, given that I suspect demand to rise, and we'll keep a look at that in this week by week, I do expect driver earnings to I don't know, rise, but at least stay steady around this $20 an hour range. And you are definitely having less expenses when you talk about Instacart shopping, any grocery shopping. You aren't driving around as much. So you might spend as much time working, but you're not spending as much time driving in your car. That's a lot less wear and tear, maintenance, repair on your vehicle. You don't need as nice of a vehicle. There's a lot of benefits there of being an Instacart driver as opposed to a rideshare driver there. So I honestly, when you take a look at it from a totality standpoint, honestly, we haven't run the profitability numbers. We're going to try to do that soon. I would expect your earnings to be, from a bottom line perspective, to be pretty close to what you see, if not better than what you see from a rideshare perspective. So, bottom line, drivers doing Instacart right now making $19-20 an hour. Before any sort of expenses, which is just a little bit less than what rideshare drivers are making. It probably evens out at the bottom line because, grocery shoppers don't have the same level of delivery. So that is really interesting. Those are the facts. Now, of course, Instacart is a little bit harder to do like full time, right? It's a lot harder to do full time. It's a lot harder to fill 40 hours a week with Instacart. So definitely, if you're going to go the delivery route, you definitely also, either you're doing this part time or you want to combine this with like a DoorDash, Postmates, things like that. You want to, again, hybrid gig strategy. If you're a shopper, if you're a delivery driver, rideshare driver, you need to be a gig worker and kind of do all three. So definitely take advantage of these good rates that you're seeing with Instacart, that you're going to be seeing with Shipt for sure. But also supplement that with delivery and things like that, or else if you try to knock out 50 hours a week with Instacart, you're going to see diminishing returns. You're not going to see that number kind of stay steady, stay constant. So make sure that you are you're combining that with hot DoorDash time. So if you want to do Instacart, you can do your hours there, but then do DoorDash at the rush hour, at the lunch rush, or do DoorDash at the dinner rush, things like that. So that's what it is, guys. That's how much Instacart drivers are making. Graphs kind of everywhere. We will have also a report linked below. Let us know what you think. How much are you, as an Instacart driver, seeing? Let us know in the comments. Thanks.